Welcome to another episode of Let's Chat With. I'm joined by online content creator and huge Muppet fan Isabell Leone, aka Gonzo Girl, on Instagram. Isabel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing so good. It's a nice day in Oregon, and I can't complain.
As I said before, you're a huge Muppet fan. When and was the moment that made you a Muppet fan?
Oh gosh, my cat is coming to frame. I would say I grew up with Sesame Street as a kid, always loved that. But the Muppets never really became super prominent for me, and until the holiday season. That's when me and my family would really lean into Muppet Christmas Carol, Muppet Family Christmas, like Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. That was like my yearly Muppet fix until I got older and leaned more into discovering Muppets from space. Honestly, Muppets Wizard of Oz was actually a favorite of mine too as a kid, but no one really loves that one as much. But yeah, I definitely have grown to love the Muppets a lot more as into my adulthood, but it's always been in my life always, yeah.
What is it about the Muppets that you love the most?
I think they're just so goofy and sweet and fun. I think life needs to be more fun, and they're so accepting of each other's own talents and flaws and everything that makes them who they are, and they're just so fun. They're just such sweethearts, and Jim Henson himself in everything he ever created, and the company as well, was just so magical. And I think there's just an essence of that in life that can be taken away that needs to be leaned into a little bit more.
What is your most favorite thing that the Muppets have ever done?
That's a loaded question. Ever done? I feel like the Muppet Show in general is just so great. I just recently rewatched season 1, and I think nothing can really top that. The movies are so great, but I think I can't go wrong with the classics. Honestly, yeah.
Besides the obvious Kermit the Frog, who is your favorite Muppet character and why?
Well, I feel like with my Instagram handle, I have to lean into Gonzo. Gonzo's my favorite. My mom's favorite is Gonzo. Gonzo's my favorite again. Such a goofy little guy, and he's so sweet. I would say I'm more of like a Gonzo Rizzo combo. One of my favorite things was at a new job or anything, as I get to know people, I'd be like, so who's your favorite Muppet? And I feel like that would help me learn about their personality and who they are just overall. So I would have to say Gonzo and Rizzo as a combo would be my favorite.
Other than the Rainbow Connection, what is your favorite Muppet song and why?
I feel like Life's a Happy Song from the Jason Segel Muppet movie is so fun. It's so funny. Probably that or any of the music from that movie I thought was so sweet. Or again, such a loaded question, but also Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, that sweet song that his mom sings. I can't think of the name, but so many great songs and things. But probably from those two movies are my favorite.
What do you think the Muppets should be doing next? Another movie, TV show? Any ideas for the movie or TV show?
Anything would be awesome. I think Muppet renditions of movies could forever live on and still be super successful. I also think let's bring the Muppet Show back, like SNL style, bring on actors, musicians, modern day, and I still think that would be so fun and amazing. I think people would tune into it, whether they're super into the Muppet online community or just general lovers of Kermit the Frog. I feel like that would just be super successful. But I think if I could pitch a movie, Muppets Titanic would be kind of crazy.
Matt Vogel is the current voice of Kermit the Frog since 2017 after replacing Steve Whitmire. Why are some Muppet fans hating him for the way he's portraying Kermit? What do you think of Matt Vogel's Kermit the Frog?
I have to unfortunately be on the bandwagon of not being a fan of it. It's just not my favorite, and I don't know if it's change and we all just can't handle change very well, but I think if a voice actor moves into a very beloved role, there should be a seamless transition of not being able to vastly tell. Like, you can put their two voices together and very clearly hear the timeline of when things changed, but so it goes. We can't do anything about it, but I definitely am with the people that are not as much of a fan, unfortunately.
At Walt Disney World in Florida, a Muppet-related attraction and a restaurant closed. Muppet Vision 3D opened in 1991, and the restaurant which opened in 2016 called Pizza Rizzo. How do you feel about the closings?
Heartbroken, so sad. I am a big Disney parks fan overall, and and I've never gone to Disney World. I live on the West Coast. I live over in Oregon. So any draw I had to even want to go out to Walt Disney World was for Muppet Courtyard. As a kid, I got to go to Muppet Vision in California Adventure, and I have fond memories of that. But yeah, I was just as bummed as everybody else is. We're losing something very historical. I understand they're trying to do what we're doing, Rock and Roller Coaster. Well, that's just not the same thing accessibility-wise. I think you're losing that entire space. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they do. But I definitely have no really want to even go to Walt Disney World and visit anymore like I did before. Definitely super bummed.
Netflix came out and said the future and past episodes of Sesame Street will be airing on their streaming service. How do you feel about this announcement?
I think it's super cool. I think it's really sad that PBS is in the hangings of just whatever could be happening with it anyways, and where the Muppets live and where everything goes in Sesame Street. And the one thing I think I'd have a trouble with is that Netflix is it's a paid for service, which takes away the original point of public broadcasting and Sesame Street reaching their audience before. So I think I do have a trouble there, but I'm glad that it is going to have a home. I'm just curious to see where it goes next, I guess.
If Jim Henson was alive today, what would you think he would say about the current state of the Muppets?
I think he would be disappointed. I think it's a bummer that Disney doesn't really know what to do with the Muppets. I think there was so much potential. I think it was a lot of pressure, though, on him, probably in the beginning, as with how things went, but I think it's just a bummer overall that it is where it's at with the lack of merchandise or the taking away of the courtyard. And you have a great IP, lean into it. Disney loves to lean into their purchased IPs. You have a great one, a timeless one that means so much to people in general as well, and they just keep dropping the ball and don't really know what to do with it. And I think he would be super bummed, but so it goes. I think Jim Henson would have been able to surpass that and move into so many other artistic realms like he had interest in otherwise. So who's to say, you know?
For someone who wants to get into the Muppets for the first time, what do you recommend that they start with other than watching the Muppet movie from 1979?
Whatever sounds good, just jump in. I feel like I hear so many stories of people not ever starting with the Muppet movie. I only watched that for the first time only a couple of years ago. I think does Muppet Wizard of Oz sound fun for you? Go for it. Original Muppet Show? Awesome. Go for it. Just wherever the interest leads. I feel like if you want more of an up-to-date jump in, how about Jason Segel's Muppet movie? That one was super great. I thought that was going to become so much more with the Muppet franchise, honestly, that I think it is a great way for people to jump in and start.
You worked as a Disney cast member. Which park or store were you at, and what was your job?
Yeah, I worked in Disneyland. I was a part of their college program in the beginning of 2020. I worked in attractions in Tomorrowland, and it was super cool. I worked in the submarine ride with Nemo. I was there at the beginning of 2020, and my internship was cut short due to the events as 2020, as everyone knows. And it was a dream come true. It was super, super fun.
What's your experience like with working with Disney?
I had an amazing time, honestly. I have people ask, did you ever lose the magic? Did it ever get boring to you? It was my dream job. It's something, along with the Muppets, but Disney in general, that I grew to have a huge fascination for. Not even so much the movies, but more of the parks and the history there. I think Disneyland's probably a little bit better than Disney World, but that's a whole other podcast. But my experience was really great. I feel like they did a great job of breaking such a huge park into sizable chunks within management and coworkers and such. And I had a blast. I got to hang out with Nemo all day and see the parks through children's eyes too, which was super fun. It was definitely short-lived. It's not something I think I would want to go back to now, just as years have passed and my life is very settled in Oregon now versus California. But it was really, really just a memorable once-in-a-lifetime situation.
Now, after working for Disney, what do you think of the relationship between Disney and the Muppets?
Still feel the same. I feel like Disney is funneling their money into their purchased IPs versus like Tomorrowland deserves a lot of love, and they keep putting money into Star Wars or Avatar and Coco, which love Coco, love Star Wars, Avatar, whatever. Muppets in general too are also super important, I think, to Disney history and to their overall legacy that they have bought into. That's one I still feel like they dropped the ball on. I feel like after working there, I felt like I could walk away a little bit more honestly, or with a little bit more honesty with how I viewed the park, and I still feel the same. I walked away loving it just as much as I did going into it, but I definitely can see where their priorities lie, and Muppets was not it. Maybe it will change, who knows?
What do you think of the recent live-action Disney remake movies like Snow White and Lilo and Stitch?
That one's tough too. It's a bummer because I think there's so much potential there. I think marketing falls short. I feel as if costuming falls short, the casting falls short. I also think they need to be leaning into hand-drawn animation, what the roots of Disney were, that is so nostalgic to people now, because it's movie after movie. It's a flop every time, and it's such a bummer. I think they need to stop them. I know that they're in contracts to have to keep doing them and fulfill their whole list of all the movies, but then you even see Pixar releasing Elio, and a lot of people are like, what is this? You have a fully original script, original everything, and it still falls so short. So it's like, where can we find the middle ground here? So I really hope that they lean back into their roots of the hand-drawn animation and original stories, but proper marketing as well.
What is your favorite Disney movie or show and why?
Tangled's probably one of my favorite like princess movies. I often will go back to Peter Pan as one of my favorites. It's like a comfort movie. Any of the hand-drawn animations really are comfort pieces for me that I always revisit and go back to. So I'd probably say Peter Pan and Tangled. I can't think of a show at the top of my head that stands out to me necessarily, other than their Imagineers series where they've like highlighted some of their rides, just because I'm very into that world. Like YouTube, ride through videos, that's totally up my alley.
For me, it would have to be Emperor's New Groove.
There you go.
And Hercules. For the movies. TV show for Disney would have to be the animated TV series from the 90s, Tailspin.
There you
and
go.
Darkwing Duck.
Those ones are good too. Those
And
ones are
Chip
so
and Dale.
great. Those ones are so solid. Did you ever watch Emperor's New School?
Yes.
That one was also
Originally, when it first came out. Who is your favorite Disney character besides Mickey Mouse and why?
Oh, that's so tough too. Because if we're sticking with the Fab Five, I would have to go probably Goofy. Goofy's really fun. I think Minnie also is a sweetheart in her own right. So probably those two if we're going with the Fab Five. I still go with like Rapunzel and Flynn. Those two are super great, but they're definitely more, I think, of like not the golden age of Disney, I guess. So I'd probably go back with Tinkerbell.
For me, it would have to be, for the Fab Five, it would have to be Goofy because he's the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah.
With all those how to ski, how to play baseball, how to play football videos. And then for non-Fab Five, it would be Darkwing Duck because he's my favorite superhero of all time. And Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers, the whole entire group.
So good. Those guys are so good too. There's so many. I always am stuck with like favorite questions. I'm like, I could give a whole reason and a whole list of why I like so many of them.
So thank you, Isabel, for joining me on this episode of Let's Chat With.
Thank you so much for having me. This was super fun, and I hope you enjoyed as well hanging out.